Starting a crew. Starting a crew is not easy because you have to decide how many people you want to be having in a crew, first of all. And it's not easy because that means you have to influence. And leading is quite difficult because at some point you can't delegate, you have to lead. Okay, so today is the 31st of December 2020 and I have decided to go back where it all started. So see where it all started. So I go by the name Isaac Yamie and I'm the director for Poets on an Island. You're watching the Director's Diary, aka StoryTime. And I just decided, you know what, let me go back where it all started. Today is the 31st of December and this year was an interesting year, to be honest, because there's so many things that happened and we were not expecting any one of it, and obviously the whole world was hit by storm. But Poets on an Island for me was interesting because 2019, I remember having this dream, you know, like I wanted to have a headline show, only poets, and I remember losing so much sleep because it seemed as if it was so a dream and it's just messed up, and I had to dig deep, you know, like have a chat with my mates, trying to tell them what's all up and all of these things, and sometimes they misunderstood. And for me, Poets on an Island is the best thing that's ever happened to me in 2020. Considering the amount of stress that I was in 2019, trying to plan, trying to inspire poets, you know, like I remember talking to each and every single one of them, sharing the dream that I had, like, you know what, you all have great opportunities and you have all great talents, and I feel if all of us are combining one force, we can definitely rock one night, you know. And from there, I remember approaching everyone's inbox, you know, let's talk about this and stuff. And for me, I think also it was always in my mindset to start a crew. Starting Poets on an Island for me was an incredible task, you know, like it was deep. Like when I look at it, I'm thinking the kick factor that just got me motivated in my life. And I tried as much as I could to lead them, but then the honest truth is I had a brilliant bunch, you know. You're only as good as your team, and my team is incredible. The highs, basically, I'm trying to sum up the year basically, and the highs obviously is to fill up a place. This place it actually represented a very important time frame in my life, you know. The place was filled up. We got so many people to come and see all of us, you know. We filled up, we got the place filled up. And if you had told me this 5 years ago, I would have told you to be utterly quiet and I have no idea what you're talking about. But we actually did it. So for me, it was incredible. Obviously, we're basically having to introduce the art form to people who do not know what this was. And the turnout was amazing. I've never seen so much support in my life. I really didn't have a budget, you know, but people came through, supported at lengths what they could provide, and we got a show kicking on, amazing, so deep, and all of those things. We're having your tour dates cancelled, you know, because of COVID. The plan was actually to rock around Cyprus. All of it. We're gonna turn around the whole island with spoken word. We're gonna host in so many places, and that dream was actually in front of us. Like we could actually grasp it because people wanted us in their cities. But then COVID, I remember one of the tours that we were supposed to do, we cancelled it thrice. Like we're about to go there and then this and that and then COVID and all of these things, and it was quite a sad phenomena. Meant for me to see all of this happen was the fact that everything that I dreamt of, everything I imagined, it happened, you know. They say you're as big as your imagination, but come on, I'm slim. Well, my imagination is so gigantic, and sometimes people say I should your imagination should go on a diet, because sometimes I come up with these brilliant ideas and they seemingly deem as if they're impossible. But watching this happen in front of my eyes, also sharing the stage, was impeccable for me. And I remember one thing I said to myself, 2020, I wanted to improve my performance. I wanted to be on stage as much as I could. And imagine the first time you're on stage in the beginning of the year is a grand full packed arena. To me, that was incredible. I was blessed, you know. And seeing all of these things happen for me, it was just incredible. The question, obviously, like you would want to ask, like, how did this all start? I think my history is not really that much important now, because I think I've saved this all so much, too much, how I started poetry and all of these things. But I can say how Poets on an Island started. It started 2 years ago, you know, 2 years ago. Was that 2 years ago? I think it's 3 now. And me and my bunch of mates, Ayo, Brian, Realize, we sat down, you know, and we said, you know what, it would be nice to have a similar version of Poets in Autumn. I think those guys are dope. Like, those guys are like really dope. We're dope too, but then those guys are dope. And they showed me that idea, and then I was like, you know what, we can actually replicate this idea, and guess what, we are actually as good, you know, like, we're actually good poets as well. We might not be there as then, because now we're dope. And we're like, you know what, let's just start this idea and everything. And logistics and formalization took so long, so that meant that for 2 years, we were 2 years in planning, you know. But then what happened was, now 2020, I was like, 2019 basically, the end of it, I was like, you know what, we need to start this. And I had to push all of them people, you know. And I didn't know that I could lead such a brilliant phenomenon. I've done in the past, I've done TEDx, I've done something that's quite equivalent. But then for me, what was really dope was the fact that I got to convince 5 people, 6 including me, that we can do this on a 0 budget. You know, it was just impeccably crazy. And then we got in, and then people believed the idea. We sat down, came up with brilliant concepts and all of these things, and and it's just incredible. You would wonder what's next, you know. What's next is another revelation, typically. Because COVID has changed so many things. We wanted to tour all around the island, but there's another advantage now. We have the internet, so the world is now our oyster, more of it, and we're going to venture in more, obviously, more shows, basically. But then obviously within the confinement of anything not COVID threatening, I guess. And I miss being on the road, you know, like I miss being up there, I miss meeting people physically and all of these things. But we have to do what we all have to do, you know. But for me, I think I'm grateful, you know, like I am grateful. Maybe moments I would have wanted more, but I'm super grateful because this has happened in my lifetime and I was part of it. And God bless, you know, you get things like this happening, and a guy like me, you know, like I call myself an average. I call myself an average, amazing guy, and happening to me, it was just incredible, and all of these things, it was just so crazy. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported us 2020, who came to a show when they never knew what spoken word was. Who came for a show because they knew me. They came for a show because they knew other people. They came for a show because they need to do something interesting in their lives, but then we ended up gracing that night. I want to say thank you to my mates. I want to say thank you to the poets, because the poets are the ones who make me who I am. These are my friends. This is family. So I want to thank each and every single individual, you know. They're just individually brilliant people. And I also want to say thank you to every single one of them. So yeah.